For real, man. Genuine.
No doubt, man. I was sitting there thinking, like, who is Rob talking about, man? I really appreciate you, bro. I'm just a humble guy, I'm not even here for bragging rights or anything like that. The award was a total shock. I didn't know anything about it. I was actually at a concert for my wife's birthday when they turned the Zoom camera on. They were like, turn on your camera, you're about to accept an award. I had no idea. So
Oh,
I was in shock too, totally humbled and appreciated by the kind words that you said, bro. You said pretty much the whole story right there. I mean, when we got into this business, we really didn't know what we were doing. Our backs were against the wall. We were trying to juggle what was going on in another company, all while we had car payments that were due, mortgage payments that were due, life insurance, light bill, etc., car insurance. We got kids that are in school, insurance. All of those bills were piling up. And most of us that come from that other business, we had things like R&R club that paid for a lot of these things, that money we were counting on coming in, and it literally just stopped overnight. You know what I mean? So y'all, it was totally a crazy experience. But what I saw in Power early on, because I was actually introduced to another company here in Georgia, here in Atlanta. I had somebody knock on my door back then in 2020. We had net metering in Georgia. So it was something that Georgia Power allowed. And those of you that are new, you don't know what net metering means, you'll understand what it means shortly. But we basically, it allowed us to be able to do solar in the state. And we still could technically do it now. I don't want anybody to be confused, but the payback is not there when you don't have net metering. So to make a long story short, we had door knockers in Atlanta, and I was excited to just get $1,000 ambassador bonus with this other company. And I'll be honest and tell y'all the name of the company, because the company now has gone out of business. So, when it's your calling and when you're meant to go a certain direction, you got to follow that lead. And so this other company presented a proposal for me for my house to get solar with battery backup. I hesitated, didn't sign the deal. And I was excited to be able to just make some side money with that company as an ambassador. They didn't call it ambassador, but it was the same $1,000 referral. And so I literally was on the phone talking to someone in this other business, and I'm sitting here looking at my neighbors' houses, and I'm like, bro, if nothing else, I know I can go get $1,000 from each one of these from my neighbors, because I watched how everybody in the neighborhood copied each other. When the guy on the corner got a new roof, the next three neighbors next to me, because I'm in a cul-de-sac, everybody next door got a new roof. You know what I mean? When one person was doing something with finishing their basement or putting an addition on, a deck addition or enclosing a porch or lawn, it's like people tend to compete or they want to be a part of it. And I started realizing all the door-to-door salesmen, whether it was roofing, whether it was windows and doors, they all kind of had that same pitch of, hey, I'm already in your neighborhood. I'm already on your street. Mrs. Jones on the corner. They all use the same name. And we don't know if it's Mrs. Jones or not, but they make you feel like you're getting left out. Like everybody's doing this but you. What's wrong with you? That's the pitch. So I just kind of started putting two and two together. I'm like, solar is a lot more sexy, a lot more fun than windows and doors and roofs. And if these guys can go out here and knock on doors, and it's just that easy, and everybody's got to make a choice on electricity provider in your house, right? I just kind of started thinking real basic and real common sense. And just to let you guys know, my previous life before FES, our previous company, I'm an engineer. So I literally worked on energy systems for 15 years, HVAC, lighting, temperature sensors that you program, and everything is smart censored. We were designing smart buildings. So to give you an example, if it's an office building with 20 stories, and I go to work at 9 a.m. and somebody else goes to work at 7 a.m., the systems know, maybe through, ID of retina scans, when you walk into the building, it knows, oh, this is Jabari. His office is on the 13th floor, office 1301. I'm going to turn on the lights just in his path. I'm going to get the elevator signal to come right to meet him. I'm going to preset his office to, 75 degrees because that's what he likes it at. And all of that is happening with intelligence. And so I saw the technology go from commercial to residential. I started going to home shows in Orlando way back in 2003, way back in 2004, way back in 2005. I was the guy in the booth at the home shows representing engineering ventilation products for homes to make homes green. Solar guys were all through those shows. So I've seen both the commercial construction business go from technology to low voltage to connecting smart intelligence to where the elevator is controlled by the HVAC, is controlled by the security alarm system, the camera, your phone, from geofencing. When you pull up to your office building, all of this stuff is all connected. If there's a fire, ever since 9/11, the smoke alarms had to talk to the elevator systems, had to talk to the HVAC, because you got to shut down the air and the exhaust in the building, or you're going to feed the fire, right? So I've seen all of this technology evolve. And I was on board with solar way back before it was cool. And when I worked for a company called Johnson Controls, we did guaranteed energy funding for Fairfax County Public Schools, for Arlington County Public Schools, from all of these different Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC projects. I was involved on the construction side of it. So I understood what it meant to have a change order or an addendum, or to do an estimate on a project and have to calculate, well, how many sensors do we need? How many lights do we need? How many valves? How many this? How many that? And your estimate could be off. And then you have a project manager that's going to review that cost and say, hey, there's not enough risk in this, because what if they've got an old electrical system that we've got to upgrade? Doesn't it sound familiar? So all the same stuff that we deal with in residential construction, I had a background in that, and I did sales that were $1 million, $2 million, and I saw commissions that were maybe 10K on top of a base salary and a cell phone and an expense account, and sometimes a company car, or sometimes a car allowance, and maybe made 6 figures on average in corporate America for 10 plus years. But I hated being micromanaged. I hated having a boss. I hated having to drive to work. If I want to work at 2 a.m. and I thought of an idea, let me work how I want to work. Don't control me. So network marketing was something my dad did way back when he was in college. He was in Amway, and he used to drag me to meetings as a kid. So I heard Les Brown and all those guys when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. I already had that influence and that exposure to network marketing and to being your own boss. And then the company we were in before Power allowed me to use a lot of those skills that I learned in corporate America, and I learned watching my dad go through. He was in ACN. He was in all those companies. He sold life insurance. I watched him do all these different businesses, water filters. Matter of fact, the guy who my dad trained under in the water filter business back in the 90s is the guy that worked with our previous company to develop the protection plan membership, Greg Ammerman. He brought MLM to a credit repair company. Credit repair company back then didn't have MLM. They didn't have a residual component where you could make passive income. Greg Ammerman learned that in another company that my dad learned about network marketing from back in the 80s and 90s. So through the failure of our previous business, what did we always learn in network marketing and MLM? You got to fail what? You got to fail forward. So that's what I did. I saw our business failing, and I said, I got to project this into something else. I got to use this energy in some way. I'm bubbling with with energy and passion for something. I cannot just stop, right? And so power landed in my lap only off of a coincidence that I wanted to do an ambassador type of program with another company who is now called Pink Energy. You all might know that company. Before they were Pink Energy, it was Powerhouse Solar. And they did a lot of the Carolinas and Georgia and some of these markets that power is not in. So it's very true when you hear Bobby Smith say these other companies that have gone by the wayside, they went into markets prematurely, and now look what happened to them. That's real, right? But luckily, I jumped into power, who was not even in my state, and said, something's very, very special about this opportunity that's unlike the other opportunities, right? And when I got behind and met Bobby Smith, when I met Luigi, when I met the people involved in this company, when I met, Jonathan Budd, Jim Bunch, a lot of these people inspired me. When I started watching their videos, when I started staying up at night and learning who they were and understanding where they came from and understanding Power's message, I was all in because it looked familiar to me. It was literally 3 pieces of my life merged into one. It was the technology, the engineering, mixed with entrepreneurship and freedom, time freedom, money freedom, right? And then also having that component of a business aspect, the corporate America piece, which I understood too. It was literally the 3-legged stool of construction that I already understood. So it was easy for me to just hit the ground running, right? There's a saying that goes, look for the donut, don't look for the hole. I could have easily looked at this opportunity and said, this is a waste of my time. They're not even in my state. And back then, they were promising me that Georgia would be open this summer, which would have been last summer. Still not open, right? I got a list of 20 people, my neighbors, that have sent me their bill in hopes that we would be open last summer, still not open. But what's the point of us opening here when the market isn't even really ready for us? We can't do net metering. Georgia Power, they're still behind. So we might as well work on the other markets that are already prosperous. Remember, Maryland was brand new when I started. It wasn't even open. Okay, it didn't open until March, maybe March 15th. I was already flying on planes in February to promote power. Okay, I was calling Aaron back then. And he was like, nah, Jabari, I'm busy, bro. Okay, but that's the truth. This is reality. We built this thing from scratch. So because I was all in with power, which is what this book says right here, I was all in. Right? Flew up to the launch of Maryland before the company even had a project manager or an installer ready to go, because that's not my responsibility. The company is breaking records. They're high on technology, on data. They pay data scientists to monitor and track every single detail. Why would I waste my energy on that part of the business? My job is client acquisition. Right? So I got on Facebook. Maryland is where a lot of my family and friends are from. And I said, okay, I got to know some homeowners in Maryland. Even though I've been running a credit repair business, most of my people I'm targeting have typically been renters. But I'm thinking, I got to know some homeowners in Maryland. And Facebook has a feature that lets you sort by state. And you could just say, friends in Maryland, friends in Texas, friends in Virginia, friends in California, whatever you want, Facebook does it for you. And I simply messaged each one because I'm like, all right, I can go and launch this business in Maryland. That's still not going to make me any income. There's no revenue unless I got some deals. That's how I get paid. Because remember, our backs were against the wall. Mortgage had to be paid. Car note had to be paid. Insurance had to be paid. Everybody was coming at me, looking at me, where's my money? And I'm like, give me a second. I'm gonna work it out. And I worked it out. Okay. But that pressure made me step on the gas, made me say, all right, we got to line these deals up. So I was prosperous, I was postured, I was confident, I was in the DMs. I'm working on a project in Maryland. How's the family? How's the wife? How's the kids? I'm working on a project in your state. Write this down, y'all. Do you currently own or are you currently renting? I'm running to a meeting right now. No time for small talk, right? I didn't actually say that, but you can catch my drift. The posture was on, do you currently own or do you currently rent? That's a question everybody can answer, right? It doesn't feel like you're being a salesperson because you said you're working on a big project in Maryland. Once they give you the green light and say, yeah, I own this property. I had a couple of my friends say, yeah, I own multiple properties. One is a couple of rentals. You know, I'm seeing dollar signs as they're talking, right? Like the ding, the ding, the ding, right? I'm thinking roofs. I'm trying to put glass on roofs, okay? And so as I started DMing them with confidence and posture, oh yeah, okay, cool. You own it, okay, perfect. Listen, I'm running to a meeting again. I'm busy. Can you just shoot me a picture with your phone? Just snap a photo. Don't say send me your bill. Even that slight difference sounds a little invasive, right? Because then they're thinking, I gotta log into something. I gotta, everybody's got a smartphone. People understand snap a photo. You're relating to them on their level. So that's what I did. I just told them to say, look, I'm in a hurry. Just snap me a photo. I can't talk long, but I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna bless you. I'm gonna run this through engineering. There's a lot of money. You guys hear how slow and how stern I'm talking? People listen. And if you can do voice note, it's even better. But if you can get your message across with confidence and get them to just send you the bill, right? However you can come across as aggressive, but still nice and smiling. But it's like, look, I need this right now. Just send me this. However, and you might have to practice. I'm kind of good at just convincing people to do stuff. I'm the guy that can get into the concert when they say it's sold out. I'm the guy that, you go to the restaurant and the hostess is like, yeah, we got a 2-hour wait. I'm the guy that's going to find a table, right? And work my way in and have the fam outside and be like, let me work this. And I'm that guy, right? Let me get inside and finagle and I'm going to work this. You got to have that posture. Okay. I had that posture because you know why mortgage was due. All right. There's a difference between commission breath. I don't want you to sound desperate and confidence. I was on the confidence side and I'm like, look, just snap me that photo of that bill. And I'm going to hook you up because my mom is getting $4,000 back and she's getting $1,000 from the state of Maryland. Sometimes you got to snap a photo. People like visual. So back then we were doing a lot of snapping proposals. So, but you're not snapping the whole thing. You're just grabbing a little piece that says Maryland, this, that, boom, boom, because you're just trying to capture their attention. They don't understand solar. Don't try to explain solar to them. Don't try to come across as what we would call in our past business, fall personality. I don't come across like an engineer, y'all. I come across like business. I need the bill. Okay. So once you get that bill confidently, because that's where most of the work is done. If you can avoid having to answer a lot of silly questions and having to deal with, oh, well, yeah, I don't know. How does solar do? I have to lease. I don't even get into that. Just send me the bill. I don't even know if your house qualifies. Write that one down. I just need to get a copy of your bill because it has all the engineering data on how many kilowatts you use in your house. And I got to look. If you really got to get technical, if they're really trying to push back, I got to see what angle your house is facing. Something that they cannot just push you off, right? So you get that bill. Get 10 bills. Back then, I was getting 10. I was in hotel rooms with the whole team, and I'm over here DMing. Send me that bill. I got another bill. Got another bill. I was just looking for bills. Don't get one, get 10. Okay. Put them in the system because this is construction, right? I literally had to live off of M1s, y'all. And those of you that are new don't know what that means. I'm talking your first 1,000 or 1,500. I was living off of that because I had a lot of my money tied up. Okay. So a lot of my deals being in the Northeast, slower construction cycles. You sell a deal in Texas, you sell a deal in Florida, it might turn over 30 days, 60 days. That's a lot of fun, right? When you get an M2 in 30 days, then this business really starts getting exciting because you're like, I need 10 more. I need 10 more, right? And that's kind of how I think. I don't ever slow down with, oh, it's nice to get, 3 M2s today. No, that just makes me think like my money's running out faster. I want to go get 3 more M1s that day, right? But that was my mindset is I love the fact that this business is not a MLM where you have those title requirements, those volume requirements, those monthly requirements, those quotas, those you got to requalify because we don't have none of that. So this was a breath of fresh air that all I needed to focus on was getting deals, right? Going after, started with my warrant. Remember, I can't knock on my neighbor's doors, right? You guys got to hold on 1 second for me. I got to pick up my son from practice. Bryce, I'll be there in 10 minutes, okay? I'm on a Zoom. All right, bye. You see, I'm doing this for real, y'all. This is real life. But yes. So getting a lot of deals in the system was my mindset because I knew I had a lot of Connecticut deals, right? So when they said solo awards for Northeast, I had a bunch of Connecticut deals, a bunch of Maryland, a bunch of New Jersey. And those were 6 to 9 months to hit M2s. Okay. I had another 25 deals that are in Florida, in South Carolina, in Nevada, in Cali, in North Carolina, in Virginia. Those were a little bit faster. But you cannot lose focus of the big picture. I love it when people come to Power and they do one deal and they say, oh, this took too long. It took 6 months. You just did one deal and you're going to judge Power by one deal? You have no idea, right? And anytime somebody would complain, I would say, listen, you're in PG County. Like I had customers, a big part of that award is that you don't have customers that cancel, right? That's a big part is you got to hold them for 6 or 9 months before they want to say, this is taking too long. I leveled with them. Listen, this is not Power that's holding you up, right? Make it relatable to them. If they're in Maryland and they're in PG County, as soon as I say PG County, they go, oh, I know. You don't got to tell me nothing. And they start telling you, I built a house. It took 2 years for me to get the permits to build a house. So, okay, so if we're saying it's going to take 4 months to get your solar permit, that shouldn't be a shock. That means they're doing damn good if they did it in 4 months, right? The process is getting faster. So you got to stay optimistic with them because the other option is, what are you going to do? You're going to go back to the liability every month that we talked about? Because during that close, during that presentation, I'm so level with them that, look, if this was my house, this is the loan I would take. Look at your bill right now. You're paying $280 a month today. What is that in 5 years? $320, $340, $360. You want to keep doing that? Or do you want an asset that we talked about you could pay off in 5 or 6 or 7 years? That's the average solar loan. Average solar loan is paid off in 5 to 7 years. Goodleap told us that. Mosaic told us that. That's the national average. It's not 25 years. So you take that tax credit of $28K, you don't get that if you back out, right? You don't get that if you lease your system, right? I make it simple, bite-sizable. You're getting a big chunk of change. Who knows? What if you lose your job in a year? What if you lose your job in 2 years? Isn't it going to be nice to have $20K? My dad told me just today. He was the first system I sold in Pennsylvania, right? He was pissed because it took 6 months just to get to install. That wasn't Power's fault. The permit took that long. Once he got the panels installed, Pico, the utility, took 3 months to swap out his meter. He was mad at Power. We found out that was Pico's fault. We got him reimbursed for those 3 months that he had to pay a power bill, right? Power's always going to protect the customer. But a big part of this is the customer has to understand construction. The customer has to understand that this is a residential process. We had a customer in Maryland 2 weeks ago. We went to apply for her permit. We got denied, right? So we get on the phone with her, me and the sales rep, and she's like, yeah, I don't know, but they said that there's already a permit that's already been pulled on my house. So the homeowner is confused because she thinks the previous permit was pulled for solar. So I get on the phone with her and I say, no. Let me explain how this works. Any permit that was pulled. I said, if I were you, you're the homeowner, you pay taxes, call the county office. She apparently just bought the house maybe a year ago, so she didn't know what went on in 2017, right? She calls the county office. They tell her that a permit was pulled in 2018. Guess for what? A new deck. The selling point on the house when she bought it was this massive deck. Turns out that deck was never inspected. So the permit is still open and outstanding. So just like in our process, we got to pull a permit and we can't turn on the system until the building inspector comes out to inspect that everything was installed, right? Because what if you install this deck and somebody's going to fall right off the ledge? They can't let you use this deck until it's been inspected, right? So because that permit was still open, she's now, again, she could have been mad and said, what's wrong with Power? Why don't I have my permit approved? Well, ma'am, this is something that happened with the real estate transaction before we even got involved. Imagine you can buy a house today and have permits that are open that you know nothing about. This is not part of the real estate check process when you go through closing. They miss this, right? Because what happens if she would have had to pay $5,000 to fix that deck in order to get it to pass inspection? That cost would have been on her. That's not Power's fault. You understand? So this is real construction business. So luckily, it worked out where the county came back out to the house, inspected the deck, and passed her, and she was good. Power was allowed to pull the permit or apply for the permit the next day. This is real world construction shit. Excuse my French, right? It's not pretty, but it's our job to guide the customer over the finish line and get them to understand that this is going to be worth it for you in the end, because you're going to own your energy. You're going to pay off this system in 5 or 7 years and have no monthly payment. And now you're saving $100,000 and you're doing something better for the earth. It's a win-win. And now you're going to refer your 10 neighbors to me. And now you're going to make 10 grand. And then what did you just get? You just got 10 new referrals. So with my ambassadors, I make every homeowner an ambassador. I show them that slide during the presentation. So they're excited because their sister, their brother, their cousin, their brother-in-law, their sister-in-law, the neighbors across the street, they're already thinking. Jabari did tell me I make $1,000. Jabari did tell me that he has a lady in Maryland that sent him 30 people and is getting 30 grand. You can pay off your system with 30 grand. Right? So everybody wins with Power. And so once I got behind what Power was all about, what this mission was all about, it was easy to attract more better people and just keep going and going and going. And then you look up and you've got a massive business because now Power has made the compensation plan sweeter. You start getting all these financing rebates after each project you sold to.
Thanks.
Those come in every day. So it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better, y'all. So I don't know what else to say. I hope I inspired y'all. I'm in a state where Power is not open. And like Rob said, I'm closing in the Northeast in a territory I'm physically not living in. And I have enough conviction for this business and for this service that we're providing that people listen to me. And it's easy, and you don't feel like you're being taken advantage of. You feel like I'm being genuine because I am.
Because you are.
Right? And I'm on Zooms, kids are walking in the room and they're like, oh, that's your son. It's real life over here, right? This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is reality. And guys, we have something that is recession proof. We have something that is going to give jobs for years and years and years. We haven't even scratched the surface yet, y'all. If y'all understood the kind of hot water heaters they have in Japan that I'm waiting for us to get over here, these tanks, think about it. Does it make sense when you're gone for a week that your tank is burning energy and making hot water and there's nobody there to use that hot water and it never stops burning and it never stops burning? That makes no sense. There's nothing in like that in Japan because the houses are tiny apartments. So they don't have space for a big ass hot water heater, right? So everything over there is way more energy efficient. Their split systems, their air conditioning systems, you have buildings, and this is my last point and then I'm done because I got to go pick up my son. You have buildings where half the building can be in heating, half the building can be in cooling, and it's balanced because the ones that need the heat are getting the heat rejected from the people who want the cooling, because cooling is just removing heat. It's moving heat from here to here. And air conditioning, think about your house. Think about your car. You got water dripping. You're condensate. So you're pulling heat from inside the house and taking it out. So if you go stand by the air conditioning unit outside, it's exhausting hot air. So you use that hot air and give it to the people that want hot air. You see? Energy efficiency. So we're America is 150 years behind on technology. We're going to have cars that automate themselves. The roads have to be paved for that. The roads have to put chips in the roads so the cars know how to read GPS. That's more jobs, right? So we're just now scratching the surface on what that Inflation Reduction Act that for next 15 years that has savings in it. We're just scratching the surface. Water, air, windows and doors, roofs, everything to make the house more energy efficient and sustainable. Power will be the force, the army, right? Because we're all going to be super trained and super knowledgeable, and we're all going to be virtual. We are the army that goes out and sells all this stuff. Wait till you see our stocks.
Facts. Can't wait.
You guys, there's nowhere to go but up with this company. So let's go.
Yo,
so
facts.
That's it. I'm gonna switch to my car so I can keep watching y'all from the car. But I'm done, y'all. I hope this was powerful. Let's keep going. If y'all got questions, I'm here. Back to you, Rob.
The chat for Jabari, bro. We appreciate the transparency. Me and Jabari talk all the time, and we were having one of our conversations the other day about how some people just, they quit before they get started. A lot of people quit before they start. You sign up, that's not when you really start. It's a start date and launch date. Like, you got to be in it. And I've seen Jabari and, shout out to Aaron that's on here too, and a lot of the leaders. I know Katie's on here killing it, man. A bunch of you guys, and you're in it. In the beginning, that first year or first couple months, everybody's success is different too. You can't compare. I used to say this in our last company because we spent 4 years there, 4 or 5 years in that business. But who you think is going to have more? The person who have been in I used to compare it to college. I'm like, man, your freshman year, you want the diploma. You want the senior diploma already. How? You got to put the time in. You got to go through the freshman struggles and the sophomore struggles. And you got to go through that to become the leader and the staple that you need to be to expand and grow big teams and just have that success. And you guys are in it. So Jabari just painting that picture, he does a great job of painting the vision. Think about it. We're scratching the surface. Aaron knows we get excited about this all the time because we're like, yo, Aaron's team was the size of this whole company in his prior business. Our team was the size of the whole company in our last business. So when we get excited about this, it's early. Way onto the 10,000, 15,000. EXP just hit 86, 90,000 people. I remember when they were at like 20,000, 30,000. I'm sure the stocks are a lot different now, Aaron, than they used to be. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that time frame, that wave, we're in that. They used to talk about the S curve, and they will talk about that between 30,000 people and like 100,000 people. That wave right there, the people who got in first are gonna generate the most wealth from that. You guys are the ones who came in first. We came in first. All of us, our organization, we're early. We got 500 people out of 7,000, and we just got in the game. We just got in. The clock is still early. We still got a lot of quarters to play. So remember, and we're going into one of the biggest seasons. This is why in the next couple of weeks, I want Aaron, Chris, I had Jabari on here. I got Luigi. We got a lot of the top leaders. I want to get JC Rangel. I want to get the Bernassos. I want to get all of these people just to share their testimonies with us. Share their stories, the things that they've been able to accomplish. Jabari did a fantastic job. To know that he's only had one cancellation because he's walking people through the process, getting them to the finish line, how many people he put in to be able to have that outcome, those are things that we all needed to hear. And we're excited about it. Right now we're going into the summer months soon. This next 90 days coming, the next 2 weeks, I really want you guys to prepare. April 1st through 3rd, that first couple days, that's going to launch us into a whole nother season. A whole nother season. Electric bills is about to get a lot hotter, a lot more expensive. All these price increases in all these states are happening now. In Florida, it happened in January. It's going to happen again in April. Why? Why 2 times before the summer? Right? It's plain, it's written right there. So we have such a huge opportunity to get in front of this thing, regardless if it's your state or not. Like Jabari's a great example. Jordan's a great example. A lot of you guys who are working for markets that we're not even open yet, becoming the pioneers of it. But you got to go through a growth pain. You got to go through pain through that. It's not going to be easy. Understand, everybody, like success, multiple 6 figures, a huge team, massive residuals, anything like that. Time freedom, all that's not going to be easy. It's going to be more of a mental battle than anything. But one thing I learned from my mentors that always stood with me is the people who stick and stay get paid. The people who stick and stay will get the pay. You quit, you're not making nothing. You put in a year, 2 years, 6 months, 4 months, whatever the time frame, don't give up. Get a reward out of the effort that you've made. Because there's some people right now that's probably on this call that's ready to let go. When we're about to go into the biggest season because you haven't had the success yet that you think that you deserve. You didn't have Jabari's story or Raisa or Aaron's success or anybody else yet because you just think it's supposed to happen on your time. God's timing is never wrong. Ever. It's never wrong. It's always when you least expect it, it's going to happen. And when you feel like quitting the most, right around the corner is when some big blessings. When me and Raisa are having our moments and we're like, yo, I don't know. We have those 2 as leaders. Next thing you know, we get a text message. Man, someone just told me to reach out to you to go solar. Hey, I'm a vice president with Solar Bear. I've been watching your posts. I think we need to talk. I'm telling you, the installation is done. Oh, we got another contract signed. It's a part of it. It's construction. So the reason why I wanted Jabari on this course is to set expectations mentally. We're finishing the first quarter of the year. How fast did that go? Yeah, January, February, March. March is damn near, it's the 21st already. The quarter is gone. There's only 3 more left of the year. And right now, this next 90 days, we're going into the summer months. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get crazy. So I want you guys to have the mind ready. Hearing Jabari's story, we all need to do that. We need to be dumping bills into the system. And there's no other team that could do it better than the organization that we have with the training, the leadership, the skills. It's all about putting in the grind work. Like he said, I was in the DMs. That's where it happens. Nobody's just gonna pop up and message you. Your electric bills are just not gonna land in your email or in your DM. I took nuggets from that. Yeah, I didn't take no nuggets from that. I hope y'all took some notes. That whole just snap a picture of your bill, I'm changing my vocab instantly. Why? Because he's winning with it. I'm not gonna question what he do. I'm never gonna ask somebody to send me the bill again. Snap a picture of it. That's it. It's just instant application. So I want you guys to, reach out to your agents, reach out to them, get them connected to these team calls. Obviously, plug them in with Power's calendar. They're doing a fantastic job. Aaron's team calls, they got the fireside chat. They got that, bro. There's resources everywhere here. No one can say that you're not getting the resources that you need. They're coming from all angles, from the top, from the field, everywhere. It's just leveraging them and then applying what you're learning on them. Right now, if we really think about it, can we all make a better effort than what we making right now? I could say that. I know I could put more bills in than I need to. There's a bunch of you guys that are one away from tier 2, one away from becoming tier 3. Like, it's right there. You'll never know. Myra did 3 deals in one damn day. She went from tier 1 to tier 2 in like a day technique. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. You could be dry for 3 months. But like I said, we were having the same conversation earlier. It keeps coming back up. Again, it could be a dry season for you in one day. And the next day, the rain falls. And it keeps falling and the whole ecosystem changes. Whole ecosystem changes. The reason why I remember that, I used to have a lake behind my old apartment. I used to watch all the time. I'm an animal dude. I love animals. I watch all the time. And at one point of the year, that lake was dry. There was no frogs. There's no fish. There's no deer drinking out the water. There's no otters, no turtles swimming, nothing. It's dry. The plants are gone, all of that. But then it comes a season where that same body of water that's dry and it's not making no money and all that, overflow comes. There's a season of harvest. There's a season of farming. You don't know what season you're in. And don't judge anyone else because you don't know what season they're in. And you know what they went through to have the season that they're having. So you always got to salute the ones who are winning, pray for them to continue to have success, and then you keep working towards your breakthrough because it's coming. Everybody's is just at a different time. Right now, I feel like it's a great time for everybody to turn it up. That's NEM 3.0 in Cali. That's going crazy. We don't know what the other states are going to do. This financing thing with the Silicon Bank and banks closing, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's not wait. Like, there's people that we need to reach out to tonight, tomorrow, and really make an effort to get as many people in as possible before the summer months come. Y'all want to wait until after the summer and all these door knockers is knocking on their summer doors and their bill is high, right? You don't want that. You guys be at the forefront of it now and follow these leaders, man. Jabari, Aaron, Raisa is doing an incredible job. The corporate staff, the company is like a breath of fresh air is an understatement from what we came from. So I just want everybody to eliminate any excuse that you have. Personally, if you got some shit going on, everybody got some shit going on in their family right now. There's good and bad. You know what I mean? His car, his house, his bills, everybody got something. But how can you make tomorrow better than today? How can you put all that to the side, stay positive, and go out there and transfer that energy to people? Because tomorrow could be the day you get 3 bills because you changed your mindset and you went into the DMs and you did a little bit extra work than you thought you should have did. You made an extra call, an extra message, you went live, you did something, and somebody ended up in your DM like, Jordan, I'm ready. Corey, I'm ready, yo. Where do I send the bill? You know what I mean? So I want you guys, I wanted to bring Jabari on here. He lit me up. I'm fired up. Just hearing his story. And I seen him go through it. But hearing him relive that again, it motivates me to be like, man, yo, we need to step this up. I need to go put 10 bills in the system by Sunday. That's the way I'm looking at it. You know, so again, Raisa, I don't know if you still wanted to go over that newsletter or just put everybody on the assignment. But I feel like, yeah, that was a powerful call for Jabari to get on, and I'm excited to see the other leaders who are going to come into play. Y'all excited about that? About us bringing people onto the call and like, it's different, you know? I can't wait. I'll get Bobby on here. Y'all play with me. I'll get Jonathan Butt on this shit too. Like, y'all know I don't play around. Like, I'll get people on here, you know? But again, we
need to stack the calls.
We got to stack the calls out. Let me tell Jonathan Butt, we got 200 people on our team. I need a couple words from you. He'll get on. They'll do it. But we got to show up. You know, and think about it. We got William. We got Ogardo. We got Jim Bunch. We got Charles Thompson. Charles Thompson and Jonathan Butt are both speakers at the Solar Con. Leaders that we have in our organization that we got resources to. We got to be able to connect with these top leaders and individuals now. When there's 100,000, 200,000 people in the company, they hard to get to. Right now, we got the opportunity to use them to grow our business, to be the forefront of power, to the first 10,000 agents. There's 3,000 more agents that we need to accumulate before we hit the first 10,000. And our team is moving. But I think we could move it faster. I really feel like we need to break some records in this shit, like, especially when it comes to convention. I'm not getting off this call without mentioning that. There's no other events until September. Now, am I wrong? There's no more regional events or virtual. September 7th through the 9th in San Diego. Start planning it now. Don't miss that. Don't miss that event. That convention is going to change the whole thing. And take your team with you. I don't care how big or small. One person on your team, get them there. Don't go by yourself. That right there, events and conventions change your business. Because of conventions, me and my wife, it changed our life completely. So right now, let's focus on that every week. As we bring in new people on, we plugging them into the Power Pioneers. We're getting them into the calendar, plugging them into the chat. The chat been a little quiet. Let's start turning it up. Let's start supporting each other. Whatever the efforts that you guys are making, because together we're going to create that momentum from April through the summer months. Because guys, yo, the work that we do now, this is your Christmas. I'm just being that transparent. You want to have a nice Christmas for the family, the kids, the parents. You want the new bike. You want all that stuff that they deserve. You got to do it now. Not September, October, when you come back from convention. You got to start planting them seeds now. Have that mindset. Everything that you're doing right now is going to pay for your Christmas. You think like that, I guarantee you tomorrow morning you're going to wake up with some more hustle. Correct me if I'm wrong. I guarantee somebody going to put a bill in the system tomorrow. Shit, you know what? Whoever put a bill in the system tomorrow, the first person to put a bill in the system tomorrow, I'll throw them some money. Let's spice shit up. So the first person to put a bill in the system tomorrow and have a lead in the system, and so we could put it up, I'm sending you some money. I'm not going to tell you how much. You'll get blessed. How's that sound? Y'all down for that? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to get paid. Send me out cash outs. Usually they go through. I don't get declined too much. So look, we got some people in here. Raisa said she want to get paid too. All right, I love it. Let's do it. Again, this is good. Let's make it fun. Let's make it fun. Let's have a good time. Let's get some sellers involved. Let's get some ambassadors on. And again, tomorrow, who puts a bill in the system, the first one to get to it, holla at me. I'm going to bless them. let's keep moving this thing, man. I'm excited. I hope y'all can sense that. Rice, I don't know if you wanted to mention anything else before we got off. She's like, yo, I don't even need to get involved with this. It's crazy. But I don't want to keep you guys longer. Again, we always appreciate every single one that's on here. Let's make it a goal that next Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I got another guest coming. I'm not telling y'all who the guests are. I want to surprise y'all who it is, but let's step it up. You know, let's get more people on these calls. Don't y'all wish there was more people on the call to hear Jabari talk about what he was talking about? Like, let's get that. All it takes is a little bit of extra effort. So I appreciate you guys, and y'all have a wonderful night. I'll see you at the top.